Math 12 students. I'd like to take you on a little tour of our class now that we've looked at Canvas generally. And we're going to click on the tile for Math 12 College Algebra. And here is the navigation system for our course. So you'll see the Canvas navigation always stays over here in the left column and is always available. And then once you go into our class, see in the upper left-hand corner, it's going to tell you what class you're in, so that if you have multiple classes, this will help you keep track. And actually what I do is I open a separate tab for each class so that it can help me not get confused by flipping back and forth between different classes on the same tab. So I open a new tab in my web browser, open another instance of Canvas, and open the other class. So this is the home page. And I'll take you on a little tour of the home page after we look through all of the buttons. So this is the home page. This is where you will always land. It's also called the landing page when you click on the class tile. So this is where you start. So the other things you will find in your buttons are the modules. And the modules contain all of the learning material for the class. So there's lots of things here. There will be assignments, there will be learning resources, and again, I'll take you on a tour of this in a moment, but I wanted to just show you all the buttons first. So your peer tutor, Lynette, has been tutoring for me for 4 or 5 semesters now. She will be updating this page with her availability, and she's a great resource available to you. So take advantage of that. You have a peer tutor embedded in the course. Then we have algebra support and math centers. So these are provided by Sierra College. You have to open this new tab to go out to the math department website where the links are for these support services. So we have 3 different places. On campus, they're actually in different rooms. So the one that you are most likely to find helpful is the Algebra Support Center because it's specific help with algebra. Then the Math Center is general help. You can see they can help with every course. So they can help with your class Math 12, but they're trying to do a lot of different courses. So sometimes they get busier and they might not remember as well how to help with algebra if they're way farther along on their math path. So these algebra tutors are the best resource, but this resource is also good if it's available and the Algebra Support Center is not. So you click on this button that says Connect with a Tutor. It automatically takes you into a Zoom room or there's a tutor available, and you can talk with them for 5 minutes about one question, or you can hang on the Zoom call and just raise your hand whenever you have a question and they'll help you. So you can make a lot of progress on your homework that way. Okay, then the next button is the Sierra College Tutor Center. So we also have a tutor center that's separate from the math centers. It's actually physically located in the library, and it has tutors for lots of classes. So it's worth checking to see if they have a tutor for every class you're taking, because you can get 1 hour of free one-on-one tutoring with a student who got an A or a B in your class. And it can be really helpful just to have somebody to talk things over with. So here's the contact information for the tutoring center, and they're still doing the tutoring via Zoom this semester. Then tutor.com is available. This is my least favorite resource. I'll talk about that more when I go through the syllabus. It's an outside source, so it's a company, a for-profit company that Sierra College gives them money for you to have access. So they're not associated with Sierra College and don't always have specific knowledge about the courses we are teaching. They have good general algebra knowledge, but they might show you a different way than you've learned previously, and it can sometimes actually be more confusing than helpful. So this resource is not to be used for your big weekly 40-point quizzes. It can be used for homework and for the small quick quizzes. Then your grades, once we have some grades entered, this is where you'll come to see what are your grades, how are you doing so far, and I'll just give you a quick look at how it will be right now. Everybody's in the grade book because I'm on the instructor setting, but I want to show you how it will look for an individual student. I have a generic student called test student. It takes a long time for my grade book to load because there are a lot of students in it. So I'm going to scroll down here to my test student. So you would see a notification like this that shows your grades and new analytics. And analytics shows things like when's the last time you accessed Canvas, how long have you spent in Canvas, and that sort of information. So when you click on grades, it's going to open a page that's going to have all kinds of detailed information for you. And this shows that I haven't changed the due dates on things yet. So these are showing up as missing. And if there was a score, it would be here and out of how many. And then if you actually click on the assignment, it goes to this submission area where if you have a submission and I have written comments on it, you can see them here. And then you can add a comment back here. You can either type a comment in the box or make a media comment, a video or audio recording of yourself speaking what you want to say if you don't want to try and type it out. And you can also attach files here. So that's how you see details about your grades on assignments. So you'll always know what your grade is because Canvas keeps it up to date. It even drops the low scores as the syllabus says it will. So it's already all set up to do that. So this is the People button. And everybody that's in the class is here on the People button. And I hope you will use this to contact each other. To just say, hey, does anybody want to study at Starbucks on noon on Wednesday? Or you could just say, hey, how are you doing on the Shine Quiz number 3 that's due this week? Do you have any ideas or have you found any good resources? So you can see this is where I see the people, and you can see that there's still a lot of gray silhouettes. So I just really enjoy and appreciate it if people put something. This one has just a little photo, and that's wonderful. Just something besides the gray shadow. So then we'll have discussions, and I'll talk more about that as we go through the syllabus and what kind of assignments we'll have every week. And then I have files that I have put things in, and this is another place where you can find things. If you want to find the syllabus, you could come right here to the file, and here it is. If you want to find a Newton worksheet, here it is. So this is just where I put documents so that I can link to them in the class. Then I don't use the announcements very often because I know you have a lot of digital noise coming at you, and I don't want to add to that unless it's really important. So I really do think before I just send loads of messages and emails and announcements. I try to make sure it's something really critical for you to know. So please do check my announcements and emails when I send them. So the rest of these buttons you won't see because they have this little symbol here. So that means only the instructor sees them. So that is all of the buttons. And so let's go back now to the home page. So you can always get back to the home page by clicking home. And this page has all kinds of useful stuff on it. So let's just go through the page. There's a link to the syllabus, and there'll be a syllabus video you can watch where I hit the highlights. Then we'll be creating a class norms document in the first week's discussion where you can add any sort of behaviors that are important to happen or not happen for you to feel safe and comfortable in the class. And then I have a document called Zoom recording links. As I do each Zoom class, I record it, and then I post a link to the recording in this document. And we go through the quick quizzes in the Zoom meetings. So if you'd like to watch that, you're able to. So I go by whatever combination of these names you prefer. Some students call me Debbie, Mrs. Hill, Professor Debbie, whatever is comfortable for you. It took me a really long time to call my mother-in-law by her first name. So I understand if Professor Hill feels more comfortable, but I also understand if Debbie feels comfortable. That's great. So scroll down for buttons that will take you directly to the weekly modules. So they're down here. And then when you want to come to one of the Zoom meetings, on Monday there are 2 meetings. They're very similar. They won't be identical because I'm a human and not a robot, and people ask different questions. So some people actually watch both of the videos because they're not that long. I don't record the entire hour. The beginning part is the students working together, and I don't record that part. So Monday, it's the same topic in both of the class meetings, and Wednesday, the same topic in both of the class meetings. So you could come Monday at 9:30, but then maybe Wednesday at noon is more convenient. So it isn't particular students need to come to a particular Zoom session. Come to whichever one works for you. But please do come, and come to as many as you possibly can. The students who do tell me they just feel much more connected into the class, and so then that helps them keep coming and keep doing the work, and they feel like there's some camaraderie and some fellowship with their classmates. So then I also have student hours Wednesdays from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. I meet with students one-on-one. If more than one Math 12 student would like to come and work in breakout room together, that's a great idea, and I can make a breakout room so you can do that. And then I'm in the main room if you want to pop out and ask a question. So that time is available for either any kind of personal advising that you might need about any topic or math questions. So this is the link to that Zoom room. And I have a Google Voice number. And please do add me to your contacts. Although at first I will say, this is Professor Debbie Hill here, and I don't use this a lot because I can't do bulk texting with this. I can only do one at a time. But I will use it, and I will make it available to you if you want to use it to contact me. It's a convenient way to do that. And then the Remind app is an app that I'd like to invite you to join. How it works is this is an app that a lot of schools are using to allow teachers and students to contact each other without having each other's phone numbers. So you put your phone number into the Remind app, and I have a link to the Remind app. And so if you text using it, I don't see your phone number. Whereas the Google Voice number, I will see your phone number. If it's important to you to keep that information private, you might prefer to use the Remind app. And I do send announcements using the app because I can do bulk texts with that one. So I use that one each Monday at about 9 a.m. I send an announcement and a link for here's the Zoom class, you're invited. So then here are the buttons for Module 0, getting started, Week 1 and Week 2. Week 2 is not published yet, so you won't be able to see that yet. But let's go look at Module 0, getting started. Pause for the jump. That's just really annoying, and it's just life with Canvas. So these little triangles are collapse and expand. So I can collapse this menu if I don't want to have to scroll down such a long list of assignments. And then if I click it again, then it expands and I can see everything that's in the module. So Module 0 is getting started, and you want to click the Check Your Sierra College student email link. So see how this has an underline, so it's a link. This is called a text header, and it's just a way to direct your attention. So notice that the Check Your Sierra College student email is an assignment. So these little pictures mean assignment. For whatever reason, Canvas picked a rocket ship for a quiz or a survey. Then this is a page. That's just something you read. So you can see I have a lot of little assignments in Module 0. They're pretty much just things to help you get started strong in the class. so that you are just ready to go the second week. So I want you to check your Sierra College student email. And I give you points for these assignments to encourage you to do things that you should do anyway, but this is just some encouragement. A lot of students don't know to check their student email, or they're not used to checking email, so this is just a reminder and encouragement that you need to check it regularly. And then in the module, you'll see their navigation buttons where you don't have to go back out to the modules page. You can just click next, and it will take you right to the next thing that you need to do. So the next thing I want you to do is read the syllabus. So I want you to read it carefully, take notes, highlight it, do whatever you need to do so that you have a really good idea of what's in that syllabus. And then I want you to tell me one thing about the course design that was different than you expected, and you're going to type that in a text entry box. And that's how you get the points for the assignment. Then notice that now that we're on the second thing in the list, now you have a previous button where you can go back to check your student email, and you have a next button that will take you on to the next assignment. This is called a syllabus treasure hunt. It's a little quiz, and you can do it as many times as you need to, but you have to get 10 out of 10 on it before you'll be able to move on to the next module. So make sure you have your syllabus handy, and that will help you get through it efficiently. Then the next thing is a survey, just getting to know you a little bit, and it's just some helpful information for me. I keep it confidential, and it's just some things that would be useful for me to know. And you're always free to not answer things, but you need to put something in the box so that the survey will know that you looked at that box. The next thing is getting started in Canvas. And this video that I'm making right now will be on this page, but it can't be yet because I haven't figured out how to put the video I'm making in the page where it's going to go. So it will be on this page when it gets completed. And then the next thing is getting started in Newton. So here's a video I have made that I will put the new one here. It's being rendered in YouTube as we speak. And then the next item will be the Newton tracker. So this is a document that I've created. The first semester I used Newton, students said it's hard for me to keep track of which things I've already done and when things are due. And so they asked if I would make something like this. So I did, and it's turned out to be really helpful for a lot of students. So if you download it, and you have the option to download up here, if you download it, it's actually a fillable form. So if you want to download it to a device and just have it in a file on your device, you can click on it and put check marks in the boxes digitally. But if you'd like to just print it, you can do that, and you can check off as you complete each assignment. So you'll see that there's the due date and then which section numbers, and there's usually either 3 or 4 sections, sometimes only 2, but 3 or 4 sections need to be done each due date. And there are 88 sections, so you know they're pretty tiny because they have to get done in 16 weeks. So each section there is very small, actually. Okay, so you're going to type in the text box and tell me you have accessed the tracker and have it available to use. And that's how you'll get the points for this assignment. And then we have the suggested workflow documents. So week 1 in particular is different than the other weeks. So let me suggest that you download this at least and maybe print it to just have it handy. I tried to lay out, here's how I would do week 1. Come to the Zoom classes, start working on your homework, even though the first homework isn't due until the following Tuesday. But I would want to get familiar with the software and get started and see how it works. And then quick quiz 1 is due on Friday. So I have things in regular type are just things to be working on, and then on Fridays things are due, So you'll see the quick quiz is due and your discussion board original reply is due. And then on Sunday is when the journal is due. You need to reply to your classmates on the discussion board by then, but you could do it on Saturday. And then here's all the tasks that you need to complete in the module 0. So week 1 is a little different because of all the getting started tasks. Okay, so then each week after that, I've tried to keep the pattern the same. Most students find that it feels pretty chaotic the first couple of weeks, but by about week 3 or 4, they're starting to figure out a routine and how to get things to fit in with their schedule. And you are free to make this schedule work for you. It's just a suggestion of when you could work on things to spread the work out. So on Tuesdays, Newton homework, quick quizzes are due every Tuesday. Fridays, Newton homework and quick quizzes are due, and your discussion board response is due. Then on Sundays, your shine quiz is due, your discussion board responses, and your journal. So there are 3 days in the week, Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, when things are due. Let me strongly recommend that you don't wait until those days to start doing the tasks. You will almost always run out of time that way. So I would start at least 1 day and preferably 2 days ahead of when things are due to get started working on them so that you don't feel stressed and rushed. Most good learning doesn't happen when we're stressed and rushed. Here's where I ask you to update your Canvas profile. If you've already done this, you can say updated, but if you haven't yet, please go do that and put some sort of a picture in your profile. Then I want you to set up a math notebook. This is really important to me that you're organized. If we were in a classroom, I would actually do a notebook check where I would go around the room and check or X of you're doing a good job of being organized and having everything where you can access it and use it to study with, or you really need to work on that. So in the binder, I want printed copies, if possible, of the syllabus, the class calendar, the workflow documents, and the Newton tracker. And either 3-hole punch those papers or put them in a pocket that's made for putting documents in a 3-ring binder. Then you need dividers at least for homework, quick quizzes, shine quizzes, and notes. You may find that more dividers are helpful for you, but have at least those. Then as you're doing your work, be organized. Label each page of your homework with the Newton section number and the title of the section, so that when you're working on the quick quiz, you can find the Newton problems that correspond to the quick quiz problems. And then label your quick quiz work clearly so that when you're working on your shine quiz, you can find what will be helpful for completing your shine quiz. Then have a section where you collect important notes you get from the instruction materials in Newton or from the videos that I make. And then I usually have one sheet at the back of my notebook where I put all of the formulas so they're all in one place and I can find them easily. So once you've got your notebook set up, I want you to label it on the front, Math 12 College Algebra, and take enough pictures to show your organizational system, and then submit. So you can also make a brief video if you prefer. You don't have to say anything. A lot of students found making a video an easier way to show me their organization. If you are going to use spiral-bound notebooks, I still expect to see some kind of an organization system, either separate spiral notebooks, or Post-its, or some kind of way of having dividers so that you can keep like things together. So this is really important to me that you start off organized, and several students last semester thanked me for helping them get their organization set up right off the beginning so that they didn't get piles of paper that they were then trying to organize. Okay, then we have some useful apps. So I want you to have the choice of downloading them, but I want you to know about them. So there's a Sierra College app that makes it much easier to do college things on your phone. Then we have a Canvas student app that makes it much easier to upload assignments. Once you've scanned them and then you need to submit them, students tell me that this app makes it much easier than trying to do it on your phone, email it to your computer, use your computer to submit it. So this is an option, of course, so you can either tell me you've done it or opt out. Either one is fine. And then the third app is the Remind Text app that I already mentioned. And again, it's optional, so either say done or opt out. Either one is fine. So that's the end of Module 0. And then see how it shows when I go to the Next button. It says Next Module, Week 1 Module. So the Week 1 module looks like the future modules will all look. So I'd rather, if you go to the module to begin, than just keep clicking Next. Because what happens is it skips over things that are pages and it only stops at assignments. So you won't see the learning resource materials that I've provided for you if you just keep clicking Next. So we've looked at Module 0. And I will be embedding video quizzes in a lot of the videos. So this video that I'm making now, I will embed a video quiz. And so that will be a way I can give you points for this Getting Started in Canvas, that you'll watch the video, answer the quiz questions that are embedded in it, and get some points for watching the video. So Week 1, this is going to be the layout of all the modules. The Canvas assignments due that week. And they'll usually be quick quizzes, shine quiz, discussion board, and journal. And I put them in the same order every time so that you can get into a routine. There'll be a welcome video for each module. And then, as we looked at in the Newton video, there's the Newton homework and mini quizzes, reminders, and then the learning resources. We have a free OpenStax textbook that goes with the Newton software. I want to make sure you know it's available and how to use it and access it. So the first 2 weeks, which is going to be week 2 and week 3, the first 2 weeks of doing Newton homework, I am going to have you click on every item. So see how there's a paperclip here. That means it's a file. And the thing that you have to do is view it, and that's what you have to do to finish Module 2. You're going to have to view this and view this and view this, and you don't have to submit, but you have to look at your journal assignment, your discussion board, your shine quiz, and quick quizzes, and that's what you're going to have to do to be able to go on to the next module. So up here where it says prerequisites, in order to start the Week 2 module, you're going to have to finish Module 0 and the Week 1 module, and then you'll be able to start on the Week 2 module. So each week it will be that way, where you need to have completed the previous week's module in order to move on. But you'll see the word here that tells you what you need to do. You have to view. For this one up here in the Getting Started, you'll see that the syllabus treasure hunt says you need to score at least 10 out of 10. So that's what you'll have to do to have completed this item in the module, and then you have to complete all of the items in order to move on to the next module. Okay, so that is the Canvas course. And be sure to ask if you have any questions. Please assume that I'm not being clear enough, and feel free to ask those questions. It will usually help clarify things for other people too. So give me an opportunity to clarify by asking your questions.